So last Sunday was definitely a day I will never forget. I'm never gonna forget last Sunday. Me, my roommate Imani, and my friend Zella and her 2 sons, we all headed to the second line. It was the Black Men of Labor's second line. It was a big deal this year because it was their 25th anniversary, so everybody showed out. Everybody was out there. One of the first things I noticed while we were waiting for the Black Men of Labor to come out was looking at everybody's faces. And it never ceased to amaze me. I mean, with black people, but especially living in New Orleans, how familiar people's faces are and how much a story their face tells. Because a lot of times I'm like obsessed with Native American stuff, so I often like screenshot and save photos of like Native Americans. When I see their faces, they look so much like those pictures, even more so than people who call themselves Native Americans, which is interesting. One of my favorite things about going to the second line is seeing how everybody knows everybody, everybody's friends, everybody's family. So finally, you know, the Black Men of Labor, they came out or whatever. You know, they had their little footwork because, you know, they a little older. They had their little uncle, their little pawpaw footwork coming down or whatever. It was real cute. They was getting it. They was suited and booted, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was doing the damn thing. And then looking at the second line, which is the people that come to the second line, them dancing, like, and I'm just like, this is some ancient ass memory. This is some ancient ass memory. Like, the way they step in, I just see so many cultures and so many DNA. I see like things from Africa, but specifically here I always go back to the Native American thing because I feel like that's so prominent in New Orleans. You know, the footwork, okay, them is some indigenous footwork. That's indigenous footwork. It's like they be in the zone, okay? They be in the zone. And not only are they expressing, you know, whatever they feeling, you know, as what's going on in their life, but also they expressing things from their past lives, things that's embedded in their DNAs, memories beyond this lifetime, memories that's deep within their blood, and they keep going and going and they don't stop. The expression is far beyond them. I just want to dance. Even though for a lot of people that just may be it in their conscious, but in their subconscious, baby, it's something deeper. It's definitely it's a lot more than you think. Okay, your people is coming out. Okay, your people trying to say something, and it's so beautiful. I remember looking at one of the shots that I took of the carriage, the horse carriage or whatever, passing by, and I'm like, this look like the West Indies, this look like Africa, this look like, it just looked like everything. I also enjoyed the second line because it was very traditional in the sense that there weren't any flows, there wasn't no bounce music playing. A lot of the songs were traditional second line songs, so they was definitely showing out the second line. You know, had a few people doing a little bit too much. Okay, they was doing. don't hurt yourself now. Don't hurt yourself. Okay, because they was getting it. You know, they ain't spend all this time and money on these suits for nothing. Okay. I was like, okay, and then after a while, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to record no more. I just want to dance, because when I left the house that morning, I said I gotta, even that night, I said I gotta go to the second line on Sunday because I really want to dance. Because I always be self-conscious about dancing in second lines because I don't want nobody to know that I'm not from New Orleans. You know, I want y'all looking at me like the white people that be at the second line. You know, I've been going to the second line for 3 years, girl. You know, go ahead, bust a little 1, 2, 3, you know, do a little something. So I went and found Zella's son. I'm like, hold my camera, I'm about to go dance. So I go back and run into the crowd, and all of a sudden I'm seeing like commotion and I'm hearing drumming. I'm hearing drumming going on, and I'm like, okay. And so I started realizing, oh, we by, you know, Louis Armstrong Park, the Marie Laveau thing, the Congo Square. So I'm like I'm pushing my way through the crowd. I'm like pushing people like, because I'm trying to get, I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm trying to get up in the mix. I'm trying to get in the mix. So, yeah, so I remember I crouched down and I split between these people's legs to get through. And I had my camera, and I finally got there, and I was just so pleasantly surprised to see what was going on. In the middle, there was a lady in turquoise and white, and then there was another lady that on black and white. She had long locks, and they were dancing together. Were the black men of labor. And I was like, look at this. The guy who's playing the drum, he goes around the circle pounding and greeting everybody from the black men of labor like, this is how New Orleans used to be before New Orleans was New Orleans. Okay? All the nations and tribes or whatever that was here, although we were different, they were different, like we were the same. It's like, you know, and there was always a respect for one another, and I just feel like that's what that moment kind of was for me when I saw it. So then the lady in turquoise and white, she got up and she started to dance. She danced all the way into Congo Square, which is perfect because I was already planning to go to Congo Square for the honoring of Marie Laveau. So she danced so beautifully, and then Mama Sula was like, you know, blessing and cleansing the space as everybody whose heart desires led them to Congo Square, followed her into there. Behind her, more musicians playing all types of instruments followed her into Congo Square. And I remember just looking at all the different instruments and all the different peoples and their faces. It's like, yet again, like, you know, that's New Orleans for you. I mean, everybody looked so colorful, like everybody was so colorful and beautiful and stuff, and I was just like, oh wow, like just beautiful reds and oranges, burnt oranges, and blues, crisp whites. It was just really amazing. They all end up, you know, dancing to the designated stage. It was just amazing. And then they started playing that New Orleans Indian rhythm. I don't know what it is about that rhythm, but it just gets to me. And that's when I was just like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to hold this camera, because you know, I was really feeling the beat. And so the guy went up and he started singing a New Orleans Indian song, and it was just really amazing. I was glad I was able to capture it in time, and to see all the women, just like I said earlier, dancing and expressing things beyond themselves. It was really amazing. It was a lot of remembrance. I think that's the word. A lot. In people's faces, in the spaces I was at. in the dancing I saw and the dancing I did and other people's interactions, past lives, bloodlines, DNAs, all of that.